Drake Maye took the NFL by storm this season, leading the Patriots to 14 wins and a Super Bowl berth. But Drake Maye and the Patriots got embarrassed in Super Bowl 60, so I wanted to dive in the film and see why I think Drake Maye is overrated and doesn't really fit Josh McDaniels' system that well. This play right here, amongst a couple others that I might get to in this video, shows me why Drake Maye is not Tom Brady, and I don't even think he fits into Josh McDaniels' system in the same way that Tom Brady does. What do I mean by that? Let's check this out. So right here, you're going to see we're going to motion over our F right here, Stephon Diggs. And what we're trying to do here is we've got a 2nd and 7 called up. And we see that they're a little weak to this sideline right here, right? You got a deep safety, corner in the flat, and we've got a linebacker right here. Well, I don't think this linebacker's going to keep up with Stephon Diggs, right? So what we're trying to do right here is we're trying to run a pick route. We're trying to get really physical as this tight end getting upfield, and we're trying to literally just take up space and push Devon Witherspoon out the way, right? So we want to push him as far back as possible, and we want to stop this linebacker from flowing over there. And while we're doing that, we're just trying to hit this quick out, and we need to hit our back foot and get this ball out to this sideline. And watch Drake Maye here. I don't know what he's being taught, but I would expect if this is Josh McDaniels' system, it's being coached the same way it was to Tom Brady, this should be the side of the field we're reading first. And you see the tight end is literally running the route perfectly for it to work, right? We're trying to get right here. We need to hit our back foot, look that way, and get it to him, right? Instead, Drake Maye is trying to read this kind of double post that we have called up right here. Neither of them is going to get open by the time he gets a sack. And yes, I mean, this offensive line played terrible, but that ball should be out of our hands, and instead of going back 10 yards, we should have a first down or at least a 3rd and 2, right? But that's a drive killer, and yes, we can blame the guard for getting bull rushed into Drake Maye. That's Drake Maye's fault for not getting that back foot and getting the ball out. Once again right here, I think this is a really good concept that we have called up, and I just don't think Drake Maye's doing a good job executing what's being asked of him. I think he's waiting to see if it's open before he's pulling the trigger, which you can do in college, but you can't do in the NFL against elite defenses, and I think that's kind of the thing. He played bad teams all year until he got to the playoffs, and then he got exposed for being a second or two late on something. Okay, what are we trying to do right here? Well, take a look. We're going to motion in this tight end, and then we're going to motion him directly back out because we're just collecting information right there. And our goal of that is to see, hey, they love to run a lot of cover 2. They got a flat defender out here covering 2 guys, flat defender playing a little bit higher, but we got 2 high safeties right here. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to manipulate the defense right here. We're going to run a hitch with a little bend route where we kind of bend out and cut back in, kind of like an in. And the whole goal of this play is if we get this cover 2 look, as soon as he breaks right here, this ball should be out here waiting on him. But before we do that, we should check to see if this safety drives on it. And if that safety drives on it, we have Stephon Diggs coming across on a skinny post right over the middle where we should anticipate the throw into him right here, and we might have a touchdown, right? This is a throw that Brock Purdy or someone would do a great job executing, and I just don't think Drake Maye does a good job of it. This ball, if we're throwing it right there, has to already be out of our hands at this point. But instead, we wait. He's just now starting to pull it back, and you see what happens. Safety's driving on it because he sees him pull that arm back. This is Julian Love, who if you watch all those shorts, you'll see him talking about Drake Maye and how he plays like a young quarterback. But as soon as he sees him driving, yes, we're in our end zone. We don't have much time. But we need to go ahead and anticipate this throw as soon as he gets to his break and go right here with it, right? And that would be a touchdown. Man, that would have been a game-changing play, and it would have really altered the Patriots' confidence and momentum in this football game. Okay, I wanted to take a look at that 3rd down. I'm trying not to look at too much stuff in the first half here, but this was just another really bad play. So once again, Seattle's going to load up the line of scrimmage on 3rd down. They've continued to blitz us on these 3rd and longs, so we should be ready for it, right? And we are as a play caller. We're going to end up running another release right here off of our chip. And what we're doing right here is we're saying they've got 1-2 defenders on this side of the field. We're going to run a go with the mandatory outside release right here. And when we run that go, pretty much all we're saying is if this guy stays high, then we're going to hit our chip and release. If he doesn't stay high, then we're going to hit our go. And watch what Drake Maye does here. He's going to stay high, back up. We should instantly get our head toward this guy down here at the bottom. Instead, Drake Maye is looking to this side of the field to try to keep this safety out the play, but we shouldn't be worried about that guy. We should simply be reading this one defender on this left side. And we should see, hey, if we were reading this side, he's got a whole step on him, so we're not just going to be able to throw this ball up wherever we want. We should get this ball out of our hands quick right here to our tight end. Instead, we just chunk up a prayer and throw it out of bounds don't even give our guy a chance. And the saddest part is he had him beat, right? So it's just a really bad play right there by Drake Maye. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the play that kind of killed our first drive right here. And I don't blame this on Drake Maye. We're going to blame this completely on Will Campbell right here because the whole concept is going to the left side of our screen and he completely screws us over right here. So our goal on this play, like I mentioned, is to get everything going to one side of the field to make the read easier on our quarterback. So we're going to send this guy down the field and we're going to run a wheel route right here with our wide receiver, which is going to be followed by the tight end also coming this way. And our goal with this is to put this defender right here in conflict. If it ends up being man coverage, which is what we're expecting it to be, he has to guard the out coming this way towards him, and he has to guard this wheel. If he chooses this, we take the wheel. We got to put it back shoulder, or we have to put it over the shoulder on the sideline in that hole over there. But if he takes this, then we just hit this over the middle, running away from the defender, right? So really good play design right here, but I want you to see why it doesn't work. Like I said, take a look over here at Will Campbell. He's going to get absolutely destroyed, and then we're going to go over to the end zone view and see why Will Campbell gets beat so bad and why he had such a bad Super Bowl in general. Okay, so as I mentioned, we want to look at Will Campbell right here, left tackle on this side of the offensive line. These two guys had an awful game, right? So let's look at him. Let's see what ultimately caused him to get beat so bad. So before I talk about it, I want to establish two things. These three interior O-linemen, they set the depth of the pocket. So how far back they drop sets how far back the quarterback has to drop to really create space between them. And our tackles right here, they're going to create the width of the pocket. So I want you to think about it as this kind of semicircle where they're meant to create a semicircle of space for their quarterback where he can step up if he needs to and defenders can be as far away from him as possible. What I saw Will Campbell do all game is he would take a very vertical kick step and he would be right here. And what happens when he's right here is that gets rid of that width. So instead of having a semicircle like this, instead you just have a circle that kind of is cut off right here, which allows guys to build up speed before they get to you, and they just shove you back into your quarterback's lap, and you take a lot of sacks, right? So watch Will Campbell do that right here. Watch his kick step. So obviously goes early, but look at the difference between him and Morgan Moses. See how Morgan Moses is up on that defender, not allowing that D lineman to really build up his momentum and accelerate through the contact point, where Will Campbell sets so vertically out here that instead of meeting him at the point of attack, he lets him build up speed, and once he builds up that speed, he's able to just win straight through speed to power and dominate him. And honestly, that was done to Will Campbell all game long. I don't know if he was just setting up weird because of how he's standing, but I do also want to add Drake Maye's got to throw that football away. He had time to do it, and that sack is on him, but the play not working is on Will Campbell setting his drop wrong. Now we're going to take a look at the third down where we end up not converting here and really just set the precedent for the rest of the game and what it's going to look like. You see here the Seahawks once again have a ton of DBs on the field like they're used to doing. An advantage of doing that is you don't have to track motions across the formation. You can make it look like it's zone and you just switch which DB is guarding them because they're all fast enough to keep up, right? So that's exactly what's going to happen right here. Patriots going to come out in this 2x2 formation, motion to a 3x1 formation. And from prior film study coming in this game, the Patriots should have known that anytime you line up in a 3x1 formation against them, 10 times out of 10, they're always going to man mark this backside receiver right here. So he should either be on a go ball where we're giving him a chance one-on-one if this guy crashes down, or we should have ourselves in a situation where, hey, if they bring these guys up, because they obviously have guys stacked up in this box right here, we need to instantly have this as our read key guy, right? If he comes, this receiver needs to have freedom in this offense to instantly get to the first down marker and turn and face you or run a speed out or something, right? He needs to just get his eyes to the quarterback so the quarterback can hit him and pick up the first down. But that's not going to end up happening at all. Instead, the Seahawks do a really good job of waiting for Drake Maye to look down to get the snap. As soon as he does that, because he waits so long, we get down to about 1 second. You see him clapping fast. He's trying to get that ball in. Well, now we're all coming. And he doesn't realize that we're all coming. But even if he does post-snap, I should say, watch. Where's our hot read? We can say we have Diggs, but this guy's got inside leverage because he believes that he can beat Stephon Diggs if Stephon Diggs runs a go. So you're telling me the guy who had his man blitz is going to run a deep post corner when they've got 7 guys stacked up in the box? Like, we're asking to go 3 and out right here. And then for this, on this other side of your screen right here, to be a dig instead of a go, that eliminates our one option of really beating this defense. I did not like this play call at all, and man, this is bad offense right there. Okay, we're going to have a 3rd and 15 called up here. I believe this is on our 2nd or 3rd drive of the game, and this play right here shows me either a lack of preparation or football IQ from this Patriots coaching staff or players. Very first thing I want you to key in on here is this DB right here. See how his feet are pointed at the quarterback and he's either bluff blitzing or coming? The very first thing we should key in on as the quarterback is him. So post snap, the very first place we look is there. Is he coming? The wide receiver should also be pointing this out and should be able to communicate with the quarterback, hey, if he comes, I'm going to either settle quick or go on an out, or I'm going to clear him out of this play entirely, this DB, and we're going to clear this guy out of the play entirely, and if he comes, we're going to check, release, and we should be able to hit this and try to catch and run this at least close to the first down marker, put us in field goal range, right? Instead, what's going to happen here is Drake Maye is not even going to look to this blitzer at all. This guy is going to run that check and release, and instead of hitting him, Drake Maye is just going to take a sack. Like I said, I don't know if this is on coaching staff or preparation or what, but you clearly see Drake Maye, I don't know what he's looking at, right? I'd love to know if he was trying to look off a safety or what, but in my opinion, his head's not facing a direction to really look at that guy instantly. Now he's trying to eye down the left side of the field because that's where they had the overload pressure at, right? They have 3 guys right there. He instantly sees that this guy backed out and Will Campbell's getting dominated right there. He immediately noticed that, and he's going to go to just step and get sacked right there because he never even looked at the blitz, right? Let's look at it from the end zone view to see if we can kind of see what he was looking at there. We need to be hyper conscious of this right side of the field just because of the way this corner out here off your screen had his body pointed to the line of scrimmage like he was coming on a blitz. Watch Drake Maye's eyes. He's instantly looking up the middle of the field at the safety. He's trying to see, okay, what type of coverage do I have? Instead of seeing, hey, is this guy coming after me right here, right? And Morgan Moses put in a really bad spot because if he blocks him, then this guy's going to come free. If he doesn't block him, which he doesn't really do a good job of, then he's going to come free, right? So what we really have to do here is Drake Maye, is we need to look at this guy who could be blitzing because of his body language. Our wide receiver should have called it out to us. And instantly we know, hey, as soon as he releases right here, we hit him, right? Give ourselves a shot at picking up the first down. Make them make a tackle. Give ourselves a shot at a field goal, right? But instead, we just completely crumble right here, take a sack, wide receivers are wide open, that can't happen. Okay, if you think back to early in the game, around midfield on first down, we wanted to give them the threat of play action, and we had this concept called up where we had a wheel, a curl, and a flat, right? We're going to kind of run a very similar concept right here. Look, we're going to motion over our tight end, put him in the backfield, and our whole goal with this play is to once again go play action. And we're going to go a post right here instead of a curl. And we're going to take this receiver and we're going to kind of play with Nick Imamori right here. And then we're going to send him up on this wheel. So we're going post wheel right here. And we're going play action, release the flat. And our job as Drake Maye right here is to see first wheel. If this wheel isn't open, then we go flat. Technically, I would say it's 1A, 1B, and then 2 right here. Sorry, that's a bad drawing. Because we'll see instantly if the post gets open. But we really should just be reading this one defender here, Nick Imamori. If he stays flat, we hit the wheel. If he doesn't stay flat, it's first down. Take your free yardage right here and pick up about 20 yards. But instead, we're going to try to back shoulder this thing right there, and it's just a very difficult throw and catch, and we're overcomplicating stuff. I get that on third down, but it's 1st and 10. Let's get ahead of the sticks, and let's come out in the second half and not go 3 and out. Stephon Diggs wasn't invisible in this game. He just was missed. Earlier, we pointed to one play where he could have had a touchdown if Drake Maye waited 1 second longer, and right here, we're going to look at another one. We're going to come out in this 3-by-1 bunch right here, and we're going to motion over Stephon Diggs. And when we motion him over, we're giving him a one-on-one matchup outside with this corner right here, Devin Witherspoon. And we're just going to run the same wheel route we've been running, or an outside release go, whichever one you want to call it. He goes really wide right here, which is why I would refer to it as a wheel, but we're just going to go right here. We're going to give him a couple moves right here, and then we're going to take this outside release and we're going to go up the sideline, and we're going to beat him by at least 2 steps right here. And watch Drake Maye is going to completely ruin all of his footwork. He's going to ignore our outside release go right here, or more, what you would call it, mandatory outside release. And instead, he's going to wait for this crosser to come into his vision. It gets open, but it's a tight window thrower. We've got one DB right here and one DB right here over the top. We can hit it, but because we've screwed up our footwork, taking in about 4 hitches because we're scared to make this throw. Like, look, normally Drake Maye, you see he's geared up his footwork. He's taking his hitch to go forward, and we're putting this ball right here, and this is a walk-in touchdown for Stephon Diggs, and we are back on course in this football game. But instead, watch what he's going to do right here. This screams lack of confidence to me. Hitch, 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 hitch. Ball's out over the middle. Tight window throw. We've got to keep it low because if we hit him high, he's getting blown up right here, and we've got to keep it pretty much as far away from him as possible or it's going to get picked off, right? So we end up throwing this ball low, ends up being an incomplete pass. But man, we should have had another touchdown to Stephon Diggs right there. But in my opinion, this play takes the cake as the one that would frustrate me the most if I was any other Patriots player or coach. Because we worked so hard all year to get to the Super Bowl, and this is the performance we get from Drake Maye where he just gets frustrated. He just starts throwing up stuff. That would make me mad. Check this out. So we're going to go back to very similar thing that a lot of teams do, especially in these like late game moments. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, down 12, need a touchdown, and we're just going to go 4 verticals, right? Just up, 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 up. And we're going to leak our running back out to the backfield to the left. And we're pretty much saying, hey, if one of these gets open, great, we throw it. But if we get this type of too high coverage that we get right here, right, and we just get man across the board and they leave our running back, hit the running back in the flat. I mean, I want you to see this right here. This turns the corner and turns into a gain all the way to the 30. Maybe even the 35-40 because it's hard for me to believe that any corner, even Devin Witherspoon, who I think that is right there, takes down Ramondre Stevenson full steam ahead right there in the open field, right? Instead, we're like, hey, let's just chunk it up. Triple coverage, that looks great. Thankfully, it isn't picked off, but I mean, man, I'd have been so frustrated if I was any Patriots receiver. Okay, here we're going to have his interception, and I don't know what he was doing here. In all honesty, I've tried looking over it over and over again, and I just have no idea. We're just going to have this concept right here where we're going with a deep post right here, and then we're just going in with a dig in behind it, and then tight end going in the flat. So we're creating this natural levels concept right here. We're really trying to go 1, 2, 3, 4. But really, this right here isn't even part of the read progression unless it just screams being open. Watch what he does here. We're going to get to the bottom of our drop. We're going to feel that Will Campbell is getting dominated once again because he doesn't widen out, as I mentioned earlier, and that's going to cause us to step up. We do a good job of that, but when we step up, blanketed right here over the middle, blanketed with the guy in the way. This is a throw I think he's trying to make. I think he's trying to make this dig right in the tightest window I've ever seen in my life. But I will say we do have this safety maybe out leveraged. Right, we have one of the fastest guys on our team right there. If you want to lay it up over here, 2nd and 3, nothing to lose, right? Just make sure it's not picked off. Instead, we try to hit that in over the middle, leave it high because we had to step into our O-lineman. And we end up throwing a pick here. Almost to pick 6. Thankfully, Travion Henderson's battling right there. But man, here we're going to have the other pick. It's called a pick 6. Really more of a fumble though, in all honesty. And my biggest problem with this play is it's 22-7 right here with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. We're a little across midfield. This is our last chance to try to come back in this football game, right? And the Seahawks are clearly stacking a lot of guys in the box right here, right? We got a 4-3 defense that they're playing in this current moment. And we see that his body is clearly aimed towards the line of scrimmage. So we need to be hyper aware. They've been doing it all game. They might be blitzing from this nickel spot right here. It's called a nail blitz. And if they're doing that, what we need to have down pat our communication with our receivers. Hey, if he goes settle right here, settle out, run some type of option route right here that gives me the ability to throw you the football quick. Instead, what happens, he takes off on a super deep route right here, and we're leaning back in the pocket. We just throw up a prayer to try to make an incompletion. We just got to live to fight another day. I mean, throwing a pick 6 right there guarantees you lose this football game. You try to do a little more late, and it's just too late at that point. Drake Maye played a terrible football game. But I do want to make sure I leave off the video with this right here. Drake Maye still has all the arm talent in the world, especially on these deep balls. He needs to fix his footwork. He needs to learn how to take what's there and take the design of the play, even if it's short and it's not anything deep. But I just want to leave you, watch this deep ball right here. Obviously, they're not ready for it. He's going to quick snap the Seahawks defense right here. But this is one of the best footballs you'll ever see. And it sucks that it just wasn't worth anything because it's in the fourth quarter. Game doesn't even matter. Put it right on the helmet of our wide receiver. Drake Maye can still hit these type of throws, but we got to fix in between the ears, which will hopefully come with age, and we got to fix that footwork so that he can look good in Josh McDaniels' system. Thanks for watching. Let me know down below what you want to see next, and see ya.